Well, hello and welcome. My name is Miss Heard with Miss Heard Song Lyrics Podcast. It's season 5, episode 237, doing our first ever 98 Degrees. Yes, it's a boy band Miss Heard song lyric. The Miss Heard lyric is, your hairbrush is mine, 1,000 sensations seduce me 'cause I. And then the correct lyrics is, your handbrush is mine, 1,000 sensations seduce me 'cause I do. So it's I do cherish you in parentheses by 98 Degrees. And of course, the misheard song lyric sounds like he's saying your hairbrush, which is really hand brushes. But if you look at the video, and we'll talk about it in a bit, there's a lot of hair brushing going because there's a lot of hair there. So let's begin. It's actually a cover. So let's start with the original. So I Do Cherish You is a song written by Keith Stagel and Dan Hill. And Dan Hill put a pin on that because I saw that name. I'm like, oh, I know Dan Hill. It was first released in February back in 1998 by an American country music artist, Mark Wills. And I do like Mark Wills. He has some great songs out there. The first single from his second album, Wish You Were Here, it became his third top 10 hit on the U.S. Billboard Hot Country Singles and Tracks charts that year. So remember I said to put a pin on Dan Hill? Well, his full name is Daniel Grafton Hill IV, born on June 3rd, 1954. He's actually another one of these amazing Canadian pop singer and songwriter, and he had 2 international hits. That's why I know him. One is Sometimes When We Touch. Sometimes when we touch, the honesty's too much. Remember that one? And then he did a duet with Vonda Shepard. We'll talk about Vonda in a minute. Also a big hit called Can't We Try? Can we try just a little more harder? That's a great song. So both charted in Canada and US, and I remember it. So remember I just mentioned Vonda Shepard. Why does that name ring a bell? Well, she was an integral part of Ally McBeal. So she played a fictionalized version of her on the series Ally McBeal from 1997 to 2002. Oh wow, that's 22 years ago when the last played. And she recorded 5 soundtrack albums as well as a series theme song, which is Searching My Soul, which saw international commercial success. So this misheard song lyric this week has a lot of tentacles to it. I should call it the octopus of misheard song lyrics because there's a lot of connections you'll see in a minute. So let's talk about the 98 Degrees cover. It came out in July of 1999. So this July will hit 25 years old. I'm feeling old. It's by the vocal group, or I like to call them boy band, 98 Degrees. It was released as a cover on the song of their 4th and final single from their second album, 98 Degrees and Rising, which I think I have that in CD somewhere still. Their version did quite well. At number 13 on the Billboard Hot 100, it was also included on the soundtrack from the 1999 romantic film Notting Hill. It also appeared on the NBC Saturday morning television sitcom City Guys, where the group performed at the school courtyard in the episode Dance Fever. I gotta check that out on YouTube. So it has many iterations of the song, but 98 Degrees cover did quite well, as we saw here. So who is 98 Degrees? They are, what it says here in many sites that I found, internationally acclaimed, multi-platinum, multi-award winning, and nominated vocal group consisting of brothers Nick Lachey. Remember, Nick Lachey used to be married to Jessica Simpson. There's another tentacle. And his younger brother, Drew Lachey, which I believe many years ago in the early Dancing with the Stars won one of the Dancing with the Stars. Correct me if I'm wrong. Jeff Timmons and Justin Jeffrey. The group sold over 15 million albums worldwide with 4 top 5 Billboard charting radio singles, including such mega hits as what we're talking about today, I Do Cherish You, The Hardest Thing, Because of You, and the number 1 hit single featuring Mariah Carey called Thank God I Found You. I didn't even know I forgot they did that duet with Mariah Carey. 98 Degrees albums also reached gold and platinum status in more than 60 countries worldwide. That's big. And their first Christmas album, 98 Degrees This Christmas, has sold over 2 million copies and is widely recognized as one of the most successful holiday albums ever. That I did not know, so I'm going to have to check that out. The American pop and R&B group was started independently by Jeff Timmons, so he's part of the group, in Los Angeles, although all of its members actually originated from Ohio. That I did not know. And this is a different formula. Unlike other boy bands, they were later picked up by a record label rather than being assembled by a label or a producer that most bands at the day, NSYNC, Backstreet Boy, was done in the past. They've sold over 10 million records worldwide and achieved 8 top 40 singles in the U.S. And between the late 1997 and 2000, the group reached top 20 status on the Billboard U.S. Hot 100 chart with their debut single Invisible Man peaking at number 12, and 1999's pop R&B cover of the song we're talking about, the country ballad I Do Cherish You, peaking at number 13. And the group successfully charted in the U.S. top 5 with Give Me One Night, Una Noche, Because of You, The Hardest Thing, Thank God I Found You with Mariah Carey and Joe, and latter as featured artists topping the chart as making their first and only number 1 song. So they made some bank. Let's talk about the music video. You can check it out on YouTube. Lots of views. Definitely shows the 90s look of it, late 90s. It was directed by Wayne Isham, and it features all the members of the band. This is weird. Separately dating and played by a beautiful Allie Landry. We'll talk about Allie Landry in a bit. So all of them are dating her, wooing her. A couple are giving her engagement rings. I think she says yes to all of them. But the plot twist is at the end of the wedding, where you think they'd know it, but it's suspend reality at this time. She ends up marrying at the end, and it literally does that record scratch, and it looks like she's, instead of marrying any of the 98 Degrees 4 members, she ends up with Saved by the Bells, Samuel Screech Powers, Dustin Diamond. Remember Dustin Diamond? And of course, all the band members are like, they can't believe it. They're like, remember that time? And I engaged to you, but she went with Dustin Diamond. So let's go right into Dustin Diamond and Allie Landry. Here's another part of the tentacle of this octopus. So Dustin Neil Diamond was born on January 7th, 1977. He was an American actor and stand-up comedian. And I say was, because sadly, on February 1st, 2021, he was diagnosed, or actually on January 2021, he was diagnosed with extensive stage 4 small cell carcinoma of the lungs. And despite having completed 1 round of chemotherapy, they say here in Cape Coral, Florida, he died of that said disease literally, I think like a month later on February 1, 2021 at age 44. Okay, so that's not the only connection to Saved by the Bell. So I talked about Allie Landry. She was the bride in this video and also was dating all the other boy band members. If she looks familiar, she's known for being a winning pageant queen and former 1996 Miss USA, gorgeous woman, but also known for her short marriage to Mario Lopez. Aha, there's a connection to Dustin Diamond. Mario Lopez was the jock that played the jock in Saved by the Bell. Apparently what happened was they met when he was presenting at the Miss Teen USA 1998 pageant, so 2 years after she won it, and she was a commentator, so sparks must have flied. They were engaged. I remember hearing this on the news during the summer of 2003 and married on April 24, 2004. So had they stayed married, next month they would have been 20-year anniversary, but no, that's not the case. And it was actually in a Roman Catholic ceremony, which is, oh, there you go, in front of 50 guests at the exclusive Las Alamandas Resort outside Puerto Vallarta, Mexico. So again, Las Alamandas Resort outside Puerto Vallarta, Mexico. What made the news was 2 weeks later, she had the marriage annulled after learning that Mario Lopez was unfaithful during his bachelor party before the wedding. That I heard over and over, and I'm not surprised. So he's since remarried, so is she. So life is good. It wasn't meant to be, but the marriage was annulled. Another thing about Allie Landry is her face looked familiar, and I had to look up and do some searching, and that is why. She was also in a late 1990s Superbowl Doritos ad where she is in a laundromat looking sexy as ever with an upcoming actor by the name of Sean Hayes. Remember Sean Hayes of Will and Grace? But in this, he and another guy are trying to show off with their Doritos prowess by throwing Doritos and catching them in their mouth. He plays straight in this commercial. This is the only time I've ever seen Sean Hayes not be his amazing gayest self. So there's another tentacle to this octopus. So now we know that we have a cover song. I assumed it was their song, but no, it was written by famous Dan Hill, Can't We Try, and Sometimes When We Touch. We also see that it is one that has done quite well for them as one of their 5 or 4 of the 5 top Billboard charting radio singles for 98 Degrees. And then you know the story, I'm not even going to there, but Nick Lachey was married to Jessica Simpson. They also even had their own MTV reality show, and that's where the joke, the chicken of the sea, where she thought tuna was really a chicken of the sea. But that's another episode, another time. But he has since remarried. To also a beauty queen, very beautiful, Vanessa Manila, I think is her name, part Filipino. They have children, life is good, and Jessica Simpson has moved on as well. So all is good. No one ended up or stayed with who they started with, but that's how life goes. If you have great suggestions like this misheard song lyric, like not not it being hairbrush is mine, but handbrush is mine, send it to any of our sites, social media sites like X, formerly Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, or you can just send an old-fashioned 1990s email to us here at Misheard, that's MISSHEARD songs at gmail.com. Till then, keep singing those songs wrong. Bye.